Welcome. I'm Meredith, and welcome to part 7 of my Oracle deck collection. I'm a certified hypnotist, spiritual life coach with the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment, and this channel is all about tarot and Oracle and empowering you. So, without further ado, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're alerted when I post the next video, because there will be at least one more of these, maybe 2. We'll see how far we get. But now, to get right in, the first deck is the Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Oracle. Came in this beautiful bag. This deck is so special to me. First of all, it's beautiful. I have their tarot. I have both editions, first and second. This is by Kelly Burton. But the very personal thing about this, not to bore you, but first, look how gorgeous though. I backed this on Kickstarter. I received this the day before I was going in for a major surgery. And I was honestly in a really dark place. Let me start going through. I really kind of thought that I wasn't going to make it out of the surgery, and the surgery just in and of itself was really upsetting to me. It was a really dark place. So again, the day before my surgery, I got this deck, and I flipped through it, shuffled it, and I drew 2 cards. And I just wanted to share with you the cards because I got this, and sunflower is it's my flower. And I got this. And when I tell you, this made all the difference. Attitude is everything. It's everything. No matter what you're doing, right? But especially when it comes to having surgery and things like that, it's just so important. And I was in like a dark, like a well, right? Like a deep, dark well. And I pulled these cards, and it's like a light, just like this beautiful light just reached in with a ladder to pull me out, and it did. I mean, it just made such a huge difference to me. I cannot tell you. And I'm so grateful for this deck, for receiving it when I did. It's very special to me. And as you can see, it's incredibly beautiful. It's fabulously evocative. And it's one of my absolute favorites. Even without the personal side, I absolutely love it. And it's a fabulous deck. And I'm not like a huge bee person. It's not like, I have this great affinity for bees or anything like that. I mean, I appreciate them. But this deck is so much more than a bee deck. So, if you've kind of looked at this or the tarot and thought, well, I'm not that into bees, I don't think that matters. I mean, it's just my personal opinion, obviously. I mean, look at this. It's a wonderful, powerful deck, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so grateful to have it. And can we appreciate how gorgeous these are? And just the energy. I love it so much. And it comes in this fabulously sturdy, beautiful box. And the guidebook does give you the images. They're in black and white, but they're really clear and nice and big. It's just, yeah, I mean, the messages, so let's just pick one. So they are broken down into the elements. So we have fire, water, air, earth, and ether. Gives you some spreads. Talks about sacred geometry. It gives you a lot of information, actually. And it kind of explains why the images were created and how they relate to the message. You know, I mean, let's pull one just to give you an idea. So we have ambition. Okay. So ambition, I feel like that's fire. Oh. Okay. So we have the picture, and yeah, fire. So pictured. The bees build a new hive in the upper portion of a philosopher's bust. In an ambitious attempt, they allow a flower to rest on the hive, bringing the pollen source right to their front door. Ambition in humans is ruled by the element of fire. To be ambitious, you must have a deep desire to accomplish something and be willing to work tirelessly to achieve it. Ambitions are premeditated forms of passion and can be destructive if they hold no regard for collateral damage. Ambitions should be mindful and carefully considered. Achievements are to be celebrated, but no one can celebrate achievement at the expense of another. And then we have, even the strongest of ambitions will go nowhere without the drive to take action. Give yourself permission to expand and develop. This is no time to play small. That will not help the world today. Be determined. And while you are aspiring to be great for yourself, also do great things for the collective. So, they're just wonderful messages. And I love this deck. So now, another deck that I love, and I should have included this, I think, in the last episode, because I did have two of Kathy Nichols' decks, Story Cards and Synchronicity. So this is her latest. This is Flower Medicine Oracle deck. And this deck, can we appreciate how beautiful this box is? I mean, just everything she does is beautiful. So, let me set these aside for now. So these cards, beautiful gilding. Look at the backs. The cardstock is so thick and yummy, but it's flexible. I would love to see her other decks come out on this cardstock. I would absolutely buy them again. But, my sunflower. So, and she ties in a flower with a keyword. And I think that the choices are, you know, dead on. They're beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. And I love this deck. And if you haven't seen my previous videos, I'll admit I'm not generally a plant-based lover in terms of decks, but yeah, this is one that just speaks to my soul. I love this deck so much, and you know, I don't see it much, and I don't know why, because it's incredible. It's a really incredible deck, and I think this was from Kickstarter, but I'm pretty sure she has all of her decks available on her site. So, and then I'll show you, so it comes with this little book. So it gives you, oh, there she is. gives you the keyword. I think it's the keyword that's on there, and then like 2 sentences for each one. And then it also gives you this. This is so neat. So these are color meanings. So like blue is trust, loyalty, honesty. And so it gives you this flower card spread. Now this is very similar to Roots and Wings, which is a wonderful spread, but it explains how to use it. And just to give you an idea of let's pick poppies. I like poppies. So for the poppy, and they are alphabetized, so you can find them easily. Sleep. You need rest. Take a break. Okay, so that one was really short, but you get the idea. But yeah, generally I don't look in the guidebook. I just use the image, sometimes the keyword. But man, it's a beautiful, wonderful deck. And it should really get more mention, I think, because it's incredible. And, you know, this is from someone who's not super keen on plant decks, although I do have a few, as it turns out. Okay, so next we have 3 by the same people. So these are all created by Aniel Reed. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize. But this one's illustrated by Ash Colored. So this is the Magick and Mediums Oracle. And I love the inside of the box. It's fabulous. I love their decks so much. And so the backs, I edged this, so it didn't come like that. But this is such a powerful card. I mean, to me, all of the cards speak really clearly. I don't feel the need for a guidebook, but I will show you, because the guidebook is fabulous. But just really wonderful depictions. And, you know, there's not a ton of color, and usually for me that, you know, that can be a drawback. But in this case, it's perfect. It's just perfect. And oh, I love this too. It's just enough. I mean, look at so this is a wonderful deck. Now, each deck has like their own unique qualities and uses. So, show you in the guidebook. We'll do knowledge, because I like knowledge. So here's the card. Now, just to give you an idea, so they give you a good amount of information. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but so if you just wanted a little more than the keyword, you could just take a quick peek. Facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education, the theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. So, okay, that's like a definition of it. But that first paragraph is really your divinatory meaning. There's a wealth of information all around you that is accessible with the appropriate connection. The information isn't stored on physical servers, but in the etheric planes, Within these planes, information regarding the past, present, and future timelines are found in what is known as the Universal Library, or Akashic Records. And then it goes on and on about knowledge, how to receive new knowledge. And so then it does give you keywords, right? Gives you reverse keywords. It gives you a blockage position, a divinatory position, and a reverse position. But the thing about this deck is it gives you this action, right? Talking about how you can receive more knowledge, or for the journey card, to solve a problem on a spiritual level by taking a shamanic journey. So again, it gives you kind of a way forward, or a way to work with that card specifically, to work with that that attribute, or that aspect. So I should also show you somewhere. So it does talk a little bit about layouts, and it talks a little bit, it talks about how to use the cards, but I thought there was, I might be confusing this with the other one. Alright, so, but each card kind of has a little more information, or a little, there's a spin on each one, and I like that. So there's a basic structure, but different cards will give you a little something extra, depending on what they are. So I really like that. So this is the Magick and Mediums Oracle. Now after this one, they came out with the Slavic Oracle. So this is again Aniel Reed. I am so sorry. I feel like that's probably not how to pronounce it. Look how beautiful. And this one is illustrated by Cindy Monroy. Now, just to go back to the booklet, so this has beautiful color images. This gives you, again, that kind of definition. The nice thing about this is it talks about the myth that's being represented in the cards. Gives you the keywords, upright and reversed. It gives you blockage, divination, reverse position, and then it gives you an action position. And I really appreciate that. So, look how lovely those backs are. They're beautiful. And all of the cards have fabulous cardstock. They are, they're oracle cards, so a little bit taller, a little bit wider than traditional tarot, but they're not huge. They're very easy to use. I love the color choices, the use of color, and it's just lovely. And then to give you an example, let's do Talisman. So, and again, it just kind of defines it. And it says Slavic rag dolls made with wound cloth serve as talismans to their owners. In Poland and Belarus, these traditional dolls can grant any wish and are known as zadanica. In Russia, this doll is called Trevnitsa, meaning herb doll. And in the Ukraine, the faceless doll is named Matanka. The Matanka doll is superstitiously made. Creator must only assemble the doll while in good spirits and in one session. The doll mustn't be made with the use of scissors nor needles, and there should be no knots within the doll. And it continues. Then it gives you the card meaning. So keywords: upright, amulet, ancestors, animism, beauty, comfort, femininity, friend, gift, good luck, guardian, hope, inner child, maternal love, needing a hug, perfection, prosperity, and safety. Reverse is callousness, disregard, selfishness, and ungratefulness. And then it gives you a blockage, divination reversed, and then an action. So in this case, trust that you will always be taken care of. Surrender to the protection of your ancestors, the highest good, and love. And I just think it's wonderful. I love this too. Oh. It's a fabulous deck. Then we have the newest deck, which is also, I think, my favorite. And I mean, I love them all, but this one, so this is the Golden Light Oracle. And again, I just don't even want to say her name because I know it's wrong. But Anil Reed, maybe? I'm so sorry. I really should have tried to look up how to pronounce that. This one is also illustrated by Cindy Monroy. Look how beautiful. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. And this one's gilded. And beautiful use of color. Beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love this card. And this, I mean, to me, this is such a powerful card. And I mean, I guess they all are. They're just wonderful. And I love this deck so much. I love this card. It's just fabulous. It's really, really fabulous. I feel like every time these decks get better and better. So I fully expect there to be another deck coming up. And I can't wait. These were all Kickstarters, all came super, super quickly. And I'm really looking forward to the next one, because there's got to be a next one. It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful, oh, look at that. It's just a wonderful deck. So, yeah, alright, so let's take a quick look at the guidebook. So, for Rooted, so you do have a color image. It's not huge, but I mean, it's easily identifiable. And again, we have like that definition. Then we have card meaning, so you have keywords. So for this, we have Ambassador, Collective Pulse, Connected, Dawn, Fae, Folk Medicine, Lightworker, Environmentalist, Menstruation, Middle Earth, Mother, Native, Origin Stories, Paganism, Psychic, Web, Schumann, Resonance, Weather, Magic. And then reversed, Abuse of Resources, Cleanse, Energy Cult, Energy Vampire, Entrepreneur, Exercise, Intergalactic, Recycle, Saint, Summarization. So then you have a blockage position, divination, which is significant. Reversed. And then it gives you an action, connect to the earth. Then this one also gives you affirmations. So we have, I am connected to the earth. I am grounded. I am resourceful. I have access to everything I need. And I am rooted. So I they just improve with every single deck. And it's not like they needed improvement. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, this one is my favorite. But I love the other two as well. And I use them at different times for different things. So, it's not like, well, if I have this one, I don't need that one. They're very, very different decks. They're just by the same people. Okay. So now, we have the Untamed Truth Oracle cards. So, I love this deck. And this is another one that you don't really hear a lot about. And I'm not sure why. I did edge them. So the backs. I just love that. Now this is a deck I've had for quite a while. I love this. And it's one that I keep going back to. You know, I'll use it for a while, set it aside, use it for a while, set it aside, but I always go back to it. And it just reads wonderfully. It's got a great feel. I love this. I mean, see the eyes. It's got such a great feel. It's oh, there. Okay, so there might be one more curse going on in here, but you know, it's a wonderful day. And there you go. And I mean, you can feel that, right? You don't even need the word. And that's the thing, you know, for the most part, it's just so clear, that you know, you could easily guess the keyword, I think, and definitely feel that energy that comes with it. Love that. Why is this one? Oh. I love cardinals. I have a bunch of cardinals that hang out in my yard, and it makes me so happy. Oh, let's give you, well, let's do cardinal. It's a show. I'm not going to read, I mean, there's too much. I'm not going to read it, but to give you an idea. So it gives you the black and white, along with the title keyword, and then it gives you more keywords. So we have messages, news, good omen, coming change, hope, communication. Then it gives you about 2 paragraphs. Yeah, 2 paragraphs per card, which is nice. It's a nice amount. I tend not to use the guidebook, but I don't feel the need for it either. So, and that's, you know, generally, all things being equal, I prefer decks that I don't need the guidebook with. You know, I like to be able to feel what's there and what's going on. There are some exceptions, especially if it's a really different style of oracle. It's got a different system, or if there's a lot of symbolism or things when it really adds to it. That's when I'll use the book more. This deck. So this is the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ McCullen. I was so excited for this deck. So I got this deck, and I got the tarot. What's her tarot? Not the crows. That's a different one. Probably the Guardian one. I don't know. But here's the thing. This is a beautiful deck. It's I look at these backs. They're gorgeous. The fronts are gorgeous. The keywords are great. In theory, I should be using the heck out of this deck. The problem for me, and I mean, this is just a me thing. I actually haven't heard a lot of people complaining about this, so maybe it's only me. the cardstock. Like, it feels okay just to feel it, but shuffling it is just not pleasurable to me, and that's part of the experience. And you know, I'm very kinesthetic, and I want to enjoy the process, and I don't with this. So I tend not to use this deck, and it makes me sad because I love it. And I'm really hoping, I think her other tarot got picked up for mass market. I hope this does too, because I think I'll get a better cardstock maybe. And it's not like it's falling apart. That's not the problem. It just doesn't shuffle the way I want it to shuffle. And I mean, you can shuffle it, right? I mean, I just did, but I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right in my hands. I feel like if the cards were a little bit thicker, it would help. Maybe if there were just more cards, that would help. I don't know. I'm not willing to let it go because I do love the deck. I just hate the cardstock. So, I don't know. I thought about rebacking it, but I love the backs. So, if you have any ideas, let me know, because I want to be able to work with this deck. I want to enjoy working with it, and I just don't right now. So, it's kind of been sitting in purgatory for a while. As in, since I got it when it first came out. And it's going to go back. So, next, so this is actually 3 decks in, you know, I mixed them all together. So, let's make sure I get this right. And I know I keep saying I'm not into plant oracles, right? But this isn't just plants. So this is, right. So this is Avec La Vie Collective. The 3 decks are Fauna, Flora, and Fantastic. So, basically, the Fauna is for awareness, to get inspired, contemplation, consciousness. Flora is for healing, preparation, do your work, explore your stuff. Fantastic beings are the action to make life happen, get charged, and ignite. So, these might all be mixed in, they might not. We'll find out. But, so, on the back, it gives you what the thing is. I say thing because there are animals. Oh, good, so I did maybe separate them. And then there are the fantastic. So, it'll have what it is. It'll give you like that keyword and then a little paragraph about it. So, this is the Flora. These are sweet little cards. And I did round the corners. Right, so you can, so this is how they originally came. So I did round them. So we have all the Flora. And to give you an idea, so we have a hydrangea, scientific, and then absorb. One of the most unique qualities of this Flora is its show of color based on the soil it resides. Depending on the pH, hydrangeas are either blue or pink. There's no hiding its nutrients. What this flower absorbs, it discloses. For those of us who wear our hearts on our sleeves, absorbing and revealing is as customary as breathing. What elements in your life should you refrain from soaking up? How might your outlook improve and your disposition change? So, I mean, I love that. This is, oh yeah, Sequoia, okay. So they're really, really lovely. And then what's going on here. So that's not... So they are a little bit mixed up. So I tried to mostly keep them separate, but so these are mostly the Flora. And then, yeah, I like to use them together, but I like to also be able to use them independently as well. So, well, here we have the animals. And so like snail. We have patience. A champion of patience, Snail teaches us to embrace delay. When she is present in our lives, she reminds us to slow down. She teaches us to be wary of fixed, unrealistic deadlines and our focus to achieve. Life may pass us by. She encourages us to appreciate the minutiae. Life is as much about the big moments as it is about the small ones. A gentle guide with a desire to prevail. Snail provides self-protection. Her spiral represents the origin of life. So the only criticism I'll say, it's a little tough for me to read the backs. It's a little bit of a strain, but it's not impossible. But yeah, if it was a slightly larger font, like I definitely feel like it could fit, that would be perfect. But I like the cardstock. It's very kind of thick and papery and textured. I don't know if you can maybe see the texture. But it's really nice. It's a pleasure to hold and to shuffle. And I really enjoy it. So those were the fauna. So now this should be the fantastic. Maybe. Yeah. Human fantastic being. We are one species, not 1,000, not 100, not even 10. We are one species of human with a lot of genetic diversity. End of story. Although the definition of Homo sapien is wise being, indeed we are smart creatures. We have yet to figure out how to sustain peace, share amongst ourselves, and rejoice in this opportunity we call life. Lucky for us, we are adept at change. We are capable of so much more. We can improve when we want to. Cultivate love and spread that glorious light. You are a fantastic being. So I think that's fabulous. It's sweet. It's a really neat deck. I don't use it a ton. It's narwhal. But when I do, I enjoy it. And sometimes I just keep it in the bag and I'll just kind of reach in and just pull one card out or a couple cards out. It just really depends. But it's charming, and you know, the decks are sold separately. But I think there's a and now we're back to the plants. I think there's maybe a discount if you get them all together. I'm not 100%, and I did get these some time ago, so You know, that may have changed. I'm not sure. But I really like it. And I love the size. They are, you know, significantly smaller than a standard tarot. But, you know, they fit just so nicely in the hands. And I really like that. So, this is the, yeah, I never know the name. So it's by Avec La Vie. And it's fantastic Fauna and Flora decks. Okay, so next, let's go into one of my absolute favorite decks. And I keep saying it, but for real. So, I have two versions of Roots and Wings Oracle. This deck is, this is my workhorse. I use this deck with everything. So originally I got the little travel size. It came, I think I had to add on, but whatever. This came with it in some way. Now I did edge this, and it's very messy, and I kind of like it that way. It just, at first I was kind of a little bit horrified, and I was like, oh no, I ruined the deck. But it just, I don't know, it kind of adds to that kind of earthy feel. I just really like it. So this deck just does everything for me. And I love the way it moves and the way it feels to shuffle. I love the size. And I use the heck out of this deck more than any other Oracle. It's so easy. It reads so clearly, and it's like a no-brainer, and it just works well with every deck as far as I'm concerned. So like if there was ever a deck that I felt like I needed an Oracle with and I didn't know what would fit, this goes with everything. It's like Frank's Red Hot sauce, right? You just put it on everything. So, and let me show you. So after I had this for a little while, I try not to get backups. I really do. Look how cute the box is. But I love this deck so much, I thought, well, maybe I should get a backup. And then I remembered, oh, this is the small size. I'll get the big size. Love the backs. I love the color. And I love that the images are so nice and big because I love the images. But what I don't love is the cardstock. And some people might. It's very coated, kind of like a waxy feel. And it tends to kind of clump. I don't know if you can see it. Just kind of clumps. Now, sometimes when I get a deck like that, over time with usage, that lessens. I don't use this one because I always use this one. Although, I don't know, I'm gonna maybe start using this one more because I do like being able to see more of the images. Not that I couldn't see them here, but it's just, I love them so much, and I do like seeing them on a larger scale. And also I do think that through use, this coating may diminish. And what I noticed, so with this, they sent like a sample of the small. So I may have rounded these edges. It's a good chance I did. But also This is not the same cardstock as this. This is not as coated as these, but there's a coating that I don't feel on this. So take that for whatever it's worth. It does have that lovely garden spread, which I really like. And the guidebook gives you just really short, you know, like 2 sentences for each card. And to me, that's plenty. I don't, you can't really fan them out. You know what I mean? They're too sticky. But, yeah, I would still get this deck again. You know, but this is really my favorite. It just, it feels so wonderful. And it reads so easily. And of course, the larger size is going to read just the same. And the nice thing about the small size is that, you know, I just stick it in my purse. And I take this everywhere I go. I really do. It's just always with me. Easy to pull out, to add to a spread. It doesn't take up a lot of room. And it's just easy and nice. So, yeah, sometimes I use it by itself. Most often I use it with tarot, sometimes other oracles, just depends. So now, this one is a good bit different. This is Mortem Oraculum, the Death Oracle. This is by Matthew Brown, painted by Ryan Almighty. So, these cards were originally painted in human blood. I think it was the blood of the painter. But there's no blood on these. You know, these are prints. So, and just to give you an idea of, this is what it says. The Mortem Oraculum Oracle deck presents 22 lavishly painted cards infused with the beauty and inspiration of death, representing the transitory nature of all things. Each of the original cards used to create this deck were meticulously hand-painted using real human blood. In many cultures, blood is a prevailing symbol of life and death. Death is not a means to an end, but a symbolic representation of change. So, now I will say some of these images might be a little rough. I don't think they're terrible, but I mean, it really depends on you. So if you're a little bit squeamish, you might want to fast forward this part. It's really quick. It's only 22 cards. So these are the backs. Now it comes with just a quick little chart. So it gives you the card, the number, numerological meaning, the card name, alchemical symbol, and the symbol meaning. So I really like this deck. I don't use it all the time. I only use it for me. Because again, some of the images might be a little rough for some people. Like that's a little reminds me of Lord of the Flies. But I think it's a really great deck, depending, you know, on you and how you might use it. But for me, I really like it. So let's look at Journey. Just, you know. So this is number 17. So obviously it's the horse. So we have travel, immortality, understanding. The card's name is Journey. Alchemical fire of circulation. And the symbol meaning is change and purity. So I really like this deck. I use it for specific things. I don't use it all the time. But when I'm called to use it, it just reads really beautifully and wonderfully and powerfully. So Now we have the Enchanted Bruja Oracle. This is the second edition. And it's by Alexandra Bunch. So I love these backs. Beautiful. And this is a black and white deck, but I forget that it's black and white. It's done so well. The images are so clear. And we have the name of basically what's depicted, and then we have a keyword. And I love this deck. It's fabulous for Halloween, but it's great for any time. And I really enjoy using this. It's just a really, really nice deck. And I love the images. I love this. And it does give you... I love that. So it does come with a little guidebook. And basically just gives you like 2 sentences for each thing. So for broom, we have cleansing or sweeping the home to remove negative energy. It is encouraged to place a broom near a door or an area of your home that needs spiritual protection. So short, sweet, to the point. I love this deck. I really do. I wish there were more cards, but I wouldn't let that hold me back from using or from buying this again if anything happened to this deck, because I really enjoy it. I wish she would come out with maybe another, like an add-on or something. So it's 30 cards. But yeah, I want at least 10 or 20 more. But that's me. Next. This. Excuse me. This is one of my favorite decks. And it's very powerful. If you are intuitive, if you're looking to work on your intuition, this is a fabulous deck to get. So this is the Devas of Creation, and it's by Scylla Conway. And it's just a wonderful deck. Now I did in a previous episode, I think it was the last episode, I showed soul cards. A lot of people love them. For me, I'd rather use this, and I just get a lot more out of this deck than I do with soul cards. I like soul cards, don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10 I'll use this instead. I just feel like, look at that, I just feel like this deck is much more expansive. Whereas to me, and this is obviously just my personal thing, I just feel like soul cards are a bit more limiting. This has no limitations. Now, it does come, I think it comes with it. You might have to buy it extra. I'm not sure. I think it comes with it. This pretty chunky book. So, it talks a bit about kind of the cards and the concept, how to work with them. Then it gives you color images for each one. So, here we have the first, which is actually the second, because it does start with 0. So this is first light. Now, you can read this and kind of take this to help you build that meaning if you want, but you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to with any deck anyway, right? You also have a space if you want to write your associations with it. For me, I go my own way with this deck. I really don't use the book. When I first got it, I looked at it, but You know what I would recommend if you're looking to build your intuition, and if you get this deck, if you have this deck, I would disregard the book for at least a week or two. Just kind of go through, maybe journal on each card. Like, what feeling do you get? What are you getting from this? And then after that, if you want to look at the guidebook, go ahead. But remember your initial impressions, because they matter. And I would use the guidebook only to expand on what you already had. I think, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, all too often guidebooks can they can kind of take over, and then it becomes a logical, rational reading as opposed to an intuitive one, right? You're like, oh, I remember the guidebook said this must mean this, so that's what it means, even though maybe somewhere it even said you have that feeling something else is going on there, right? And you want to trust that feeling. So I can't say enough about this deck. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorites. I use this primarily just for me, but I will use this for others. It just kind of depends. If it's a quick reading, I'm not going to pull this out. But if we have a bit more time, or depending on the type of reading, I might pull it out. But and look, it's a little binged. But and I did edge them. But I love this deck, and I will always have it. And yeah, it's a wonderful deck. So next, this deck is actually 2 decks, but it's almost the same deck. So this is Tattered Wings. Now, I completely missed this when it first came out. So this is from, I guess, the 2nd edition. So initially, when this deck came out, this was it, right? It was black and white, and it's beautiful. It's incredibly evocative, and it's just wonderful. But like I said, I missed that. So then they did a Kickstarter, and so this is by Naya House. So this came out on Kickstarter. This is, I guess, the 2nd edition. It's beautiful gilding, and we have color. So you can see the difference. And and there are additional cards with this deck as well. So, when I first, I think I initially just backed one of the decks. I don't even know which one, but I was back and forth a lot, and finally I decided I had to have both, because I love this card. Very different feelings from the decks, and I use them both. I use them together. Sometimes I'll use one instead of the other, but a lot of times I like to use them both at the same time. It's just a wonderful, wonderful deck. And so even though this one has more cards and it's in color, I still use this deck. So it's just, again, very different energy. And I love these decks so much. And this is another case of a very evocative. So just see the difference again. It's a very evocative, very intuitive read. And there is, I'm looking right at it. I was about to say there's no guidebook. There is a guidebook. I don't use it. But the neat thing is, they do give you a mantra. a balance, meditation, a divination. So, I mean, I've never even looked at it, honestly. But I really got to stop that. I really got to start using guidebooks, at least a little. But you don't need it. You really don't. I mean, it just reads so beautifully and so powerfully. This is a really wonderful deck. It's a great deck to use as an exploration into yourself. It's a great deck to really connect with that inner you, that inner wisdom. And I love it. I really, really love it. There is a third version of this that was out on the Kickstarter, and it's the Warrior. So I don't remember what this was called. So the black and white was the original. This one, I think, was called something. I don't remember what. I mean, they're all Tattered Wings. But then there's a Warrior edition. That's the one I don't have. And with that one, you can get like a workbook too. So, yeah. So, I mean, that would probably be a great resource. I didn't get it. I didn't feel the need for it personally. But I think it's probably wonderful. So, I think this is a good stopping point, and it looks like we're gonna have well, at least one more part, definitely, possibly two more. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But let me know what you think about these decks. Do you have any of them? Do you want any of them? How do you use them? You know, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love your thoughts and your feelings. And of course, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that button so you will be alerted when I post the next video. And until next time, be wonderful to yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve only the best, all the best. And that is my wish for you.